Thank you all for being here. My talk today is going to be about perception, how it creates and shapes your world, and how your particular perception will create your reality, and how just a tiny shift here and there can completely transform your world. But before I start, I'm going to show you a card. One of you here will know it very, very well. Let me know if you can all see it. Can you all see that okay in the chat? Okay, so take a look at this, and if you've got a pen and paper or your journal with you, just jot down what your perception is of this card. Just a few words, a few sentences. Just breathe into it and dive deep into the card and just express on paper in your journal. This is not a test. I'm not going to ask you to read it back to me or anything. This is just a matter of interest, just a little should we say, just a little thing to try. The beings of light assure me that there's going to be something shifted and changed. So it's just for you to remember what your perception is of this card. And I'm going to come back to it in a minute. So, perception. It's your view of the world, obviously. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows what perception is. But how does your view of the world change? Or how is each individual's view of the world different? Because everyone here will have a completely different perception of each situation that happens, and even objects, even the colour of the sky, the colour of the trees and the leaves. Every individual perception will be different. Now that comes from various things throughout their lives. First of all, there is the way that they responded to coming into physicality. Now that's often called the illusion of separation, which is one of the tools to learn and grow. Because if we came through into our physicality from spirit, and we're all spirit obviously, then what would be the use of being down here in this dense physical reality, which is the furthest away in vibration from your truth, from source. So you have the illusion of separation, and then that creates an emotional reaction. And that emotional reaction, this is all my understanding, by the way, this is all what I've come to understand through my journey. From your response, your emotional response to that, it may be anger, it may be sadness, it may be a sense of unworthiness, it may be abandonment. Whatever that emotional response was to that, that will start to carry through into your life as a learning tool, as something to grow from, as something to understand. You come to understand that it's not who you are once you start to awaken and you start to grow from that. So that's the first thing. Then you start to have things reflected back to you in your outer world that will either, and generally, reinforce that belief, that initial reaction to the illusion of separation, the trauma of separation, the illusion. And then your family, with all of their own clouded lenses, the beings of light that are coming in later actually to do a process for you, the group collective that I call, the group consciousness that I call the collective, they're coming in later. They like to talk about it as your lenses, and that your lenses start to be clouded by all the outside influences, the misinformation from the media out there, your parents who will be telling you that the world is a certain way when, bless them, they didn't realize that that wasn't the case. So all of that starts to cloud your perceptions and starts to shape the way that you see the world, and therefore the way that you create the world. And each individual is completely different. And in fact, I understand that the police know when there is a group of people lying, when they all come out with exactly the same story for a situation, because each individual will have a different perspective and a different perception of this situation. So I'm going to tell you from this card, I'm going to show you again. Now, the power of coaching. Now we all of us coaches need coaches. Why wouldn't we? Because there are those times when you have difficulties in your life, when perhaps for whatever reason you lose the thread, or you fall into a funk, or something's not quite working. So to have somebody there to assist you with powerful questions, with their full attention, even just to be there for somebody to talk to, they can create amazing shifts. Now, this is what happened with this card. And actually, I have to say the beautiful soul who helped me with this is actually in the audience. Hello, Olga. Sorry to bring you into the spotlight there, but have to. So she helped me in a moment of a funk, a deep funk, where I couldn't see the wood for the trees. And I tried everything and it wasn't working because my perception was becoming more and more and more clouded. My lenses were becoming more gummed up with gunk. And so I called on her, and we exchanged often in our early days of coaching. And so the first thing she did was she showed me this card and she said, "What do you see?" Now, one interesting thing was it was 21 and it was the 21st, the day so that was just a nice coincidence there, or was it? And also perception. But what happened when I saw that card was the most vivid example of the quote from, I think it was Wayne Dyer, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." My goodness. I got the most powerful expression of that, an example of that, by looking at this card. What happened was I looked at it at first and I saw this powerful woman, I saw this powerful angel, I saw what I sort of translated as the sword Excalibur. Sorry, I need a drink of water. Bear with me. I saw the light, or at least a little bit of light. And then the funk that I was in started to overtake and started to cloud those lenses. And I started to see the dark dress, the dark sky, the dark wings. And immediately I thought of, you know, the black swan and, you know, the yin and the, not that the yin should be bad, but, you know, the sort of dark side of everything. And she became a goth and and the light started to disappear. All I saw was the darkness, and I said to Olga, I said, "I don't like this card. It doesn't make me feel good." And she said, "Stop right there." And that's another powerful thing that coaches do. They know exactly, because they listen with all their senses. They read your energy. They know exactly what you're thinking and feeling at that moment. And they know how to assist you. And she said one sentence, and that one sentence created a phenomenal shift. And she said, "What if that light there," which I thought, and I expressed as the fires of hell, I mean, I know, a bit dramatic. She said, "What if it's the sun rising?" And I looked at the card, and from that moment forward, something extraordinary happened. I have never had this happen in my life before. As I was watching the card, it transformed before my very eyes. Yes, it was the sun rising, and I could see the light on the underside of the branches there. I could start to see the definition of the frog, which to me was just black, and the wings were just black. I started to see the definition. I started to see the light of her face, the gold mask. Everything started to be defined, and suddenly it became something very powerful and very beautiful. And she laughed at me, because as I was looking at the card, I was going, "Oh my gosh, oh my, what, no," because it was literally transforming before my very eyes. So that to me was an extraordinary example of when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, I have an example now of how you can transform in a tiny, tiny moment of time, somebody from being in a dull, dark place to something magnificent. I'll start actually with a very short example of my childhood and how my perception was coloured by the people around me. Now, I came through with a lack of confidence. I had a low self-esteem, because my reaction to the illusion of the trauma was unworthiness. So with that colouring my perceptions and having reflected back to me, that my big brother helped me out enormously to learn from that. because when I used to talk to my mother, I used to tell her these amazing things, and I'm an optimist, thank goodness. She gave me that gift. And I would talk about something and I'd enthuse about it and I would describe it. And I would say, oh, this happened and it was amazing, Mum, and I loved it. And my brother would cut straight through and he'd say, no, that wasn't it at all. He said it wasn't like that at all. And this happened time and time again. I realised now that it was an opportunity for me to understand at a deeper level what perception was all about. And further on down the line, I have learned so much. But that was just one example of how something can be reflected back to you that you believe about or perceive about yourself that then reinforces that. And then you have the potential, with the assistance of others out there, of coaches, to shift and change that. I had a client who came to me and she was crushed. That was her own words. She was completely crushed by her situation. And she was kind of almost like a shadow. But now, having had a short space of time, relatively speaking, and that's the wonder of coaching, she's actually a coach herself now, and she's teaching the most amazing things to people and helping people in a wonderful way. So anything is possible, and I believe that to be true. So now I'm going to get the beings of light in, and it's, as I said, it's a group consciousness that they call themselves the collective. Because they want to do a process with you that they say is going to assist you to have a deeper understanding that something will shift within it. I haven't done it before. They've given me an idea of what they're going to do, and I think it's going to be very powerful. So if you all would like to close your eyes or not, it's your choice. I'll get them in, and it may be that they'll come through as the collective or an individual essence, in which case that individual essence will welcome you. I'll just have another swig of water. Are you enjoying yourself so far, all of you? Just say yes in the comments. Yes, excellent. Okay, so greetings, beloved ones. I am Viwamus. We are the collective. Just taking a few deep breaths now, and if you feel that you wish to receive the transmissions that are being sent to you now, in this now moment, in your linear experience of time, close your eyes. And just by closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths, you are responding to the transmissions. You are accepting them and receiving them. They are woven through every word and every syllable that is spoken. They are coming at you through the walls of where you are living, from Mother Earth, from the cosmos. Just be open to receive. While this channel was talking, we were assisting you to ground and connect. You are all here for a reason, beloved ones. We would not interfere with free will. It is a free will universe, and it is not our remit to interfere with this. So know that all of you have agreed for us to do this for you. This is to shortcut this whole process so that we can dive deep into it straight away. So if you will allow, beloved ones, just imagine yourselves in a place of beauty, somewhere you know perhaps and love, somewhere you have been before, whether in your imagination or in your real experience of linear time. Take a few moments now to experience this space. The colors, the sights, the sounds. Open up your perception of this space, your view of it. Explore it in as greater detail as you are able. Beautiful. Now you have got a sense of how you view this place. We are going to assist you with a transmission. And the symbolic representation of what this does, this transmission, is it helps to clear away your lenses, how you view your world. And again, that is a symbolic representation of a very real process. So taking a deep breath, beloved ones, we are now assisting you by clearing your lenses just a little bit. Now take a look around you, beloved ones. Has anything changed? Is your perception different? Even if it is only a tiny bit, and however you experience this is perfect for you, beloved ones. So suspending any disbelief and allowing us to assist you to drop from your analytical mind to your heart center where all your wisdom resides. Look again. It is the same space, but has it changed? Even just a tiny bit. Just notice. And as you notice, we are transmitting more, clearing a little bit more, giving you the potential to see even more. Breathe, beloved ones. And do not try to analyze, for there is no getting your head around it, beloved ones. It is for you to experience from your hearts. For that is where the true vision resides. And you will start to see your truth reflected back to you. By sensing a shift, perhaps even in the energy around you. For these lenses, when cleared, shift everything. Your reality or your perception and experience of reality changes. So whatever you are experiencing on a conscious level in these moments, beloved ones, know that something is being ignited within you. A seed has been planted. Have a look again, beloved ones, with an openness and a sense of play. Has anything shifted? Just notice. Breathing into this space. We wish now to expand this space a little more and allow you to experience your true inner light within this space. With this transmission, perhaps you will get a sense of that light being reflected back to you. If you do not be concerned. That seed that we have planted within your being has taken root. And all we ask of you is to notice. Notice the beauty around you, and as you do so, it will expand. The richness of what you see will deepen, and your understanding of the reflection of who you are will expand exponentially. Take a look again now, beloved ones. Has it shifted? Bask in this light, beloved ones, and be soothed by it. That is enough for now. The experience that you have just had, however it was for you, whatever your perception was, has shifted you. And something will grow. An awareness and awakening will expand within you. Do not go looking for it. Do not expect it. Just notice. And by noticing, you open the door to create more. And that is enough for now. So, beloved ones, we thank you for allowing us to assist you in this way. Know that whatever your experience, you have received transmissions and frequencies of unconditional love that will assist you greatly. Taking a few deep breaths now, beloved ones. Centering yourselves as we adjust your energy system slightly to allow for the greater expansion. For now, beloved ones, gently moving your physical forms, stretching your body if you need to and adjusting it with much love from the higher realms of light, where you are all with us as one. Namaste. I am Vaiwamas. We are the collective. Sorry, it's taking a while to go there. So, okay. That's kind of made me a bit discombobulated for a moment. Excuse me while I bring myself back together. So now what I want to do is I'd like to show you this card again. This is just an experiment, because the beings of light assure me that your perception of it will have changed. So I want to show it to you again just in case. And if it has, please make sure you can see it all properly. If it has, in any way, shape or form, really dive into it. Really experience it. And if it's changed even slightly, just say something in the comments, just, or write it in your journal. Have a look at what you said before in your journal and see if anything's shifted, even slightly. Okay.